welcome to Zach's Garage, and today we're going to be talking about the future and the history of motoring. Starting then with this, our Peel P50. Now in 1962, the Peel Engineering Company was founded and produced this, the P50. They built 50 of them and they were retailing at £199. Now in today's equivalent money, that's like almost £6,000, so quite a lot of money. But they built the P50 to revolutionise motoring, much like all of the other cars we have here. The P50 was a single person or a single occupant vehicle, 3 wheels, and it was built to basically mean that it took up so much less space. Now it has a 49cc moped engine, because this is a bit more of a modern car, but as they only built 50 of them, what happened? Loads of them got crashed. So Peel Engineering got bought out several years later, I think in around 2010, and then produced the new P50, or just the Peel P50, made out of fiberglass and at £10,000. Now at the time when we bought this, we thought that's crazy, but when you see people's reaction to the P50, people go mental. Now, believe it or not, this P50 2 days ago was on the set and on the red carpet of Britain's Got Talent with David Walliams driving. Now I think that's pretty cool. But let's go into a bit more detail and go inside the P50. Now, getting in and out of the Peel has always been a topic of conversation. Now, in the days of Top Gear, or well, the real Top Gear, Jeremy Clarkson and that lot, this car was made very famous by Jerry Clarkson, who I believe is 6'4", getting into this Peel P50. Now there is actually a very easy way of getting into it. Well, easy may be a bit of an exaggeration, but if you get your right leg in under the steering column, I'm in. And when I say I'm in, I really am in, and that's for trainers. Now obviously the inside of the P50 isn't exactly ultra high tech, but as this was a more modern car, they had to do things to make it road legal, such as lights, indicators. There is no hazards, so we put this little flashing beacon on there. And the interior, as I said, is very simple. There's still some cool features. So the brake pedal has actually been moved since they gave us the car, because when they gave us the car it was in pretty poor condition. So the brake pedal is now so that you can sort of rest the left of your foot on the pedal and press it. Bit iffy, but it does work. The accelerator hasn't changed, it's just a flat piece of metal, it's very simple. Indicators are on this little stalk here, and because the bolt is loose, often you think it's a flasher, but it's not, it's just a loose bolt. Lights down here, you got full beam, dip beam, side lights and off. The horn is also on there, you just push that. You've got the push to start button, but unfortunately, as we were on Britain's Got Talent the other day and it decided to have a bit of a meltdown, well, in about 2 hours it split the exhaust pipe, which lost all back pressure, which then meant it wouldn't idle. It then dumped the starter motor, so it wouldn't start, and then the handbrake failed. So this is going to go for a full rebuild, which should take about 45 minutes. Now in terms of other little added features or optional extras for the car when we bought it, such as a heater, wait, I'll grab it. Lovely. A washer fluid bottle, can't really reach that, but it's all loose down here. A windscreen wiper came out like with the car, but the washer didn't, so go figure that. A choke pull cord, so it helps obviously cold start. That came with the car, but we then had to rebuild that because it snapped the first time they started in front of us. So yeah, the build quality back when this was built original wasn't great, and in true form they kept that for when they made the company new again. Now in terms of performance for the P50, as I mentioned, it has a 49cc moped engine, so in theory it probably would be quite fast, but they have detuned it and we kept it detuned, so it only does about 30 miles an hour, but the safe area is between 18 and 20 miles an hour, because past that the revs start getting a little bit high, it starts getting a little bit hot, and if you come round here, when it starts getting a little bit hot, things like that happen. A nice split exhaust. What can you do? Anyway, let's go around here. So after the P50, the next big revolutionary thing in the automotive world was this, Mr. Clive Sinclair's Sinclair C5. So in 1985, Clive Sinclair came out with this, the C5, and much like the P50 of its day, it was meant to revolutionise motoring, but unfortunately it didn't. It was a little bit of a flop, but unlike the P50, a lot of these were sold. And I've actually met, and I'm sure some of my viewers may have met, or even had some of these when they were bought out new. Now this is an electrically propelled vehicle, but also a pedalable vehicle, which meant you didn't have to have a license, but you could charge it, and with the help of a battery, it would propel you along the road. Now there are a certain few things that would have hinted towards the fact that this may not succeed so well. So, in 1985, imagine, you know, everything's vibrant, there's lots of cars driving around, and a crazy man with a C5 wants to go, you know what, let's take this into London. Taxi comes along, doesn't see the C5, hits this squishes, rams into the person and kills them in a very unpleasant killing manner. But Sinclair had a solution. They put upgrades. This was a flagpole. Also had a reflector light, but you could change things. So it'd have this little piece of foam, and you could put a little flag in there. You could put a flashing light. You could put whatever you wanted. But that was a safety feature. Now, getting into the Sinclair C5 is pretty straightforward. It's not like there's bodywork you have to get around, but the way I get in it is you step over, you sit in, and you put your feet in like that. Now you can see how it's steered. It's awkward, it's difficult, and quite frankly it's rather scary, because if you had this, at least you could see in front of you. It sort of feels you're being strapped to a very slow, very tiring missile. As mentioned, as this is electrically propelled, originally they had a very strange battery that would be clipped underneath the seat. When we bought this, we actually changed the battery system. It's a bolt-on kit you can buy from many companies who do them, and it just puts a car battery in, which means you can bolt the battery in, and boom, off you go. Now, unfortunately, putting in a car battery didn't make it any quicker. In fact, it only had the top speed of, I believe, about 13 or 14 miles an hour, but if you pedalled really, really fast, you could probably do 15. Now time for some interior features. Well, the lack of heating is quite frankly upsetting, but we'll have to deal with that. You have lights up here, which light up depending on how fast you're going. It doesn't tell you how fast you're going, it just says, well, you're at 100%, well, all the lights are lit up, so that's as fast as it goes. And then there's another set of lights which shows how much battery you have. Now, because it's on a car battery, it takes absolutely ages to charge, so you sort of want to do very short distances in it. So short that, well, we don't unfortunately drive it. But anyway, you have handbrakes down here, not handbrakes as in, but handbrakes as in you have to brake with your hands, and some very helpful labelled pedals that say right and left, just in case you get your feet mixed up and end up pedalling the wrong way around. So on to the Twizy. The car was a big hit in several cities, towns. Actually, you see a lot of them in Monaco, and a lot of F1 drivers driving them. Now, the Twizy was basically brought into production to show that effectively towns could go fully electric and it would be a bit more refined, because, well, we've seen things that it was like before and no one really got it that right. So with the Twizy, almost 29,000 units were made up to 2010, and now, well, we bought this. Later on, after the Twizy had been produced, Renault decided for one of the Monaco F1s to reveal the Twizzy F1. There was only one of them made by Renault, and it featured a crazy front spoiler, rear spoiler, it was on racing slicks, etc, etc. Years after that, there was such a high demand for that car that Oakley Design, who also built this crazy yellow Bugatti, which you'll see now, also designed this, the Twizzy F1, one of only 5 in the world, and this is one of the only ones to have ever been sold, which we luckily bought off collecting cars in the last few months. It features this ludicrous carbon fibre front spoiler, which is so low that we had to raise the car by 40mm, and well, it's about 40mm off the ground, so you can imagine how low it was originally. It's got medium/wet tyres, I believe, that are off a Formula 3. Don't quote me. It's a bit touch and go, the info on it. Coming round, you have what I would call, well, it's more of a table than a side diffuser or anything like that. I mean, it's just massive body panels of carbon fibre. Looks very cool, is also very low. Ends up bottoming out on pretty much anything. Coming further back, you've got this rather cool carbon fibre top-mounted rear wing, labelled up with Renault Sport and very kindly with Zach's Garage. So the top-mounted rear wing does have some rather cool little features, such as this little Renault emblem that's clearly been CNC'd into the bracket that holds the rear wing up. Coming further down, we have this ludicrous, and I know I keep saying ludicrous, but it is ludicrous, lower diffuser with the 4 canards that come down and the rain light in the middle, which also comes on whenever you push the brakes. Interesting. Now, from the original Twizy, obviously the body would have ended down here, but it has the original Twizy rear brake light and reversing light, almost like a Cyclops. Has this Renault logo in blue, which I never really understood why it was in blue. Anyway, the colour of this car is actually Lamborghini green. It was sprayed Lamborghini green. It's not the best paint job. You can actually feel the pearlescent in the paint, so a little bit strange there. But let's get some cool shots of it driving around some towns. Twizy, and suddenly any person who could have been anywhere is now gone. So public reactions aren't going to happen, but we've got some cute little driving shots of it driving around. We're currently on 8 miles battery, and so I think I'm going to have to get it recovered, so that's fun. And yeah, but anyway, I'll see you guys back at the garage.
I'm going to say to my daughters, this is
Do you like it as well?
It's amazing.
It's something different.
What is it then?
It's a Renault Twizzy F1, and it's just been on Britain's Got Talent. So if you watch Britain's Got Talent, you'll see Simon Cowell turning up on the red carpet.
Oh, right. Oh, I bet you get a lot of attention in that, do you?
It's something different. Yeah, it's something different. It's usually like people who don't know what it is, or surprising amount of people hate on it. You don't really know why.
Really?
Yeah, you just get shouted at. You're like, oh, okay, fine, whatever. But driving it through London was fun.
Very nice. Do you mind taking a picture? Oh!
These aren't for sale. These are the cars in the road. Yes. There you go. Something different, isn't it?
It's great. The daughter joked about me getting a smart car.
Well, this is even smaller than a smart
Is it?
car. Oh, yes, much smaller. Well, in fantastic form then, just before we thought we'd get no reactions, we had a rather lovely person come along, and I think they were quite enthusiastic about it, which is quite nice. But it's getting bitterly cold now, so unless someone walks past in the next 2 seconds, we're going to leave. So now we're back then, you guys are probably wondering, why is there a British flag on it and why is there number 1 all over it? Well, we were fortunate enough to have the cars featured on the red carpet of Britain's Got Talent, where Simon, Amanda, Alicia and David drove 2 Twizzys, this Twizy and the Peel onto the red carpet and also up onto stage. So you guys will be seeing that fairly soon indeed. But anyway, let's head to this, the real future of motoring. So, the Citroen Ami then, revealed in 2020, this car is fascinating, genuinely fascinating. So it's classed as a quadricycle, which means that in France and I believe Italy, you don't even have to have a license to drive this thing. I mean, it kind of looks like a car, and it kind of feels like a car, and it's got heating, and you can charge your phone. So is it a car? So since the Peel then, there's been 60 years. 60 years have gone by, and we've gone from a one-man, weird, very dangerous car to a car that has effectively been 3D printed, a body made out of polypropylene, which I'm pretty sure that when the Peel was first made, they didn't even know how to spell that word, but the only similarities they do share are suicide doors. But the suicide doors do not come on both sides, because in order to manufacture this car as easy as possible, they had the front bumper, well, they made two of them. The front and the rear bumper are identical. The doors, they made two of them, but because obviously if you flip it round, the other side will be doing the other way. So that's what they did. One's got suicide doors, the other one's just got normal doors. Then, if we head further back, we have the windows. The window, it's not really a window, it's an opening hatch that clicks up and clicks down. The spoiler, yeah, it's a spoiler. So as I said before then, the rear is actually identical to the front. The doors, well, on this side, they open normally, but I think the true fun starts on the inside. So the Ami, it's a fully electric quadricycle vehicle, 3D printed, and has some of the weirdest things on it. For example, one of the options is this lovely orange thing. What is it, you're wondering? Well, it's a hook to hold your bag on. So, yeah, I mean, you could just put the bag on the floor, but there's a hook. There is this, a phone holder that is quite politely labelled Ami, that you just sort of stick on and it opens and holds your phone. You have the charging USB, you've got hazard lights, you've got fan and demist. The demist comes out of a little 3D printed little vent thing that isn't properly clipped down, so that sort of flaps around a little bit. But for £6,000, you do sort of have to wonder, is this not one of the best value modern cars you can buy? So for the base Ami, there are very, very simple things. This is the top of the range. There are 3 tiers, so it's got things like coloured wheels instead of steel wheels. It's got a spoiler instead of, well, no spoiler, and it's got all of the orange bits rather than, well, no orange bits. So yeah, but as in Italy and in France, effectively a 2-year-old can drive this. They had to put certain things on the inside to make sure that people knew how to operate it, such as this area down here, which is a bit of an empty gap. So is it for your feet? No, it's for a bag, in which you can see a bag symbol, and these little rivets are to hold your wheels. Now, underneath the floor mats, which are, yes, an optional extra for an Ami, you pop these up and you'll see a plus and a minus. That's to show which one makes you go faster and which one makes you go slower. Very helpful. So to power the Ami up then, it has this rather strange square key. It goes in the ignition, and much like the Twizy, foot on the brake, turn and hold. That little beep means it's ready. And this car is fully charged, so it has 75 kilometres of range. And a handbrake, which probably means you can do handbrake skids. No, we won't be trying that. But I think we should take this into town and have a look. So in the Ami then, and we're currently flat out at 46 kilometres an hour. We have 69 miles of range, no sorry, 69 kilometres of range. Alright. And yeah, the steering is just a little bit off, but that's okay. It's a Citroen, what do you expect? You want to know a great thing about the Ami? Oh no, I've gone the wrong way. And problem solved. Try doing that in a pickup truck. The Citroen Ami isn't particularly fast. You do end up getting a lot of congestion behind you, like an unnecessary amount of congestion. But the great thing is, like, there's a car behind us right now, and all you have to do is wave, hello, and now they're perfectly fine. They don't get angered at all. I mean, we're doing like 20 miles an hour. They seem to be happy. They're not right up behind us. One of the Ami's very few downfalls is hills. Put it this way, it struggles. You get to a remote, and the suspension. You get to a remote hill, and yeah, it just starts to die. But kids love it. Hello. Yes, look, I've got a wave. Oh God, it's struggling. Oh God, it's struggling. Look, we're going uphill and the speedometer is going down. That's never a good sign. I'm in danger. Come on. Come. Oh, this is terrifying. We're going for like a mile a second. This really is struggling. Oh, hang on. Look at that! We have more power. By switching off the heating, you freeze, but you also get a load. Look at that. The power increase is. We're down here doing 50 kilometres an hour. It's effectively a McLaren P1. But in neutral going downhill, it goes to 51, 52, 53, 55.
Can we hit 60?
That's in neutral. That's 60 kilometres an hour. That's hilarious. There's one car. There's two cars. There's that one flipped me off. There's a lot of people behind us. Yeah, they're not going to stop coming. Oh my days. So don't do a main road in a Citroen Ami. It's not a good idea. Oh, angry person. Really angry because you don't have an Ami. You're really angry because you don't have an. Take off, look. Oh, we're going to have him off the line. We're going to have him off the line. We're going to have him off the line. No, he had us. We've been had by a leaf. Yeah, this isn't the best electric car in the world. What do you think of the all-new Citroen Ami? Do you like it?
I love it. It's a
You
nice
love?
colour.
Would you have one?
How far's the battery?
75 kilometres.
Maybe not. It's not
Maybe
like-
not.
Maybe if you're in like London or something.
Damn it, the youth don't like it. Feel free to have a look.
Is your car?
This is a car from Citroen. This is the only one in the UK, and it's going to be brought into the UK in. It's the only one in the UK. It will be brought into the UK in about a year's time, or some
Wow.
point this year.
Tiny.
That's what she said.
And it's incredibly inexpensive. It does it's £6,000 for
Really?
a brand new car. £6,000. It does
leasing the battery?
no £6,000 bought outright, or you can put it on £18 a month.
And is it made of plastic?
£6,000.
It's all pressure molded polycarbonate.
Yeah. So where is that garage? Where's that?
It's a website. It's a company that does vehicle and venue hiring and leasing.
Yeah, like throw the newspaper out.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. But
As you drive,
there's
as
three
you're
different
driving along,
variants of
you
this.
lob the doing your paper round, lobbing the
Yeah,
newspaper.
exactly.
I remember cycling down the road and throwing the newspapers. I had my sister's bike with a front carrier, and I used to lob the newspapers out onto the front lawns in the summer.
Yeah. Excuse me.
Yes.
What are your thoughts on this car?
I think it's a little small.
Little
I think
small?
It might be a little impractical, but depending on what you have,
Yeah.
you know, use for it for.
Yeah.
Love the sound. Like the fact.
Do you like the
it's-
look of it?
It's not my look per se.
Okay.
But you know, some people's cup of tea, I'm sure.
Fair enough.
Yeah, I like the fact that it's probably very economical.
So if you lived in a town, it's £6,000 brand new. Would you have one?
£6,000. Well, I don't have £6,000 to spend, but
Right.
I mean, why not?
Cool. Fantastic. Well, have a nice day, and thank you for your
Likewise.
opinion. See you
You're
later.
welcome.
He's broke. What are your general thoughts on this car? Do you like the look of it?
I do like it.
You do like it?
Yeah.
Would you drive one?
Definitely.
Yeah? You think it's cool enough to drive?
Oh yeah.
Yeah? Sick.
It's good fun.
He likes it. Let's ask this person. Hello.
Dinky toy.
It is a dinky toy. I have a quick question for you.
Yes.
Do you like this car?
I actually think it's quite fun.
You think it's quite fun?
Yeah.
So if I said that it's fully electric, so it's not out yet, but it will be at the end of the year, it's going to be £6,000 brand new, and if you live in a town, it does 75 kilometres, which is about 50 miles, that does 40 mile an hour. Would you ever consider having one?
I think I probably would actually.
You would?
Shopping, so
Yeah?
I could get the shopping in.
Exactly, there's loads of space, and yeah. Oh, fantastic, thank you very much. So then, if this is the future of motoring, it's going to be a weird future, but realistically it's not. I mean, these sort of cars are built for cities. People like Tesla are building the cars that are doing the long ranges, they're building the infrastructure to make them able to be charged, and in the future I'm sure electric will be much bigger, but for now I think in towns is where electric cars should probably remain. Anyway, as always, thanks for watching and I'll see you soon. Cheers.